All right, guys, we've made it to episode 25 of our Beard Advice series. I can't believe it. It's been a great few months. Anyway, stay tuned and we'll take a look at another guy I've got lined out for you. Hey guys, Brian Haywood. Welcome back to my Beards and Banjos YouTube channel where we discuss tips and tricks for your beards. We do some product reviews and unboxings, and we have this Beard Advice series where you guys can send in a couple of pictures to me to the email address you see below. I take a look at it for a few weeks. You get featured in your own Beard Advice series video, and we're up to episode 25. Thank you to all the guys who've submitted pictures for me, to all of the guys who've watched the videos, giving me positive feedback and encouragement along the way. It's been great to offer you guys some a little bit of a different style of video here where you could get your own style consultation, if you will. So I plan on continuing that. I've got like 3 more guys in the queue lined up, and then when August starts, I go back to school. So I'm probably just kind of doing 1 a week if there's a need for it. So if you haven't submitted pictures, go ahead and do that and we'll get you lined up. But today we've got my man Andy. He goes by the Bearded Practitioner on Instagram and YouTube. Very positive guy, very active. He's actually started making his own YouTube videos, which I just saw today for the first time. And Andy did a great job with the editing. Might need some help with the editing skills there. But Andy was growing out his beard for several months there without trimming it, and his wife was just not happy. Andy said, I was afraid she was going to get after me when I was asleep with the trimmers and the scissors. So we don't want that. So I think his wife twisted his arm enough where he got a little bit of a maintenance trim there, a little bit of a shape up, which I'll show you in just a minute. So if you'll take a look at Andy there, he's got good growth in the mustache and goatee and the underbeard. All that's really strong. Got some thinness and patchiness and that kind of stuff on the cheeks. So we'll see what we can do about giving him some good options for shapes and that kind of stuff he can go with. But he got a trim, and when he got the trim, that really started to bring things into focus. All right, so keeping your lines clean, keep doing maintenance trims, or those kind of things, keeping your hair all nice and trim and neat is going to really keep the look more professional and polished. It's going to make your wife a lot happier. So that's just good information for everybody out there. But when he tapered the sides, that looked a lot better. And then what I started to notice on that is the mustache is really starting to come out there. So I think you've got some potential with that. And then also you've got a nice shape on the bottom of your beard that you've got a lot there to work with. So we're going to be talking about all of that stuff coming up. And I always try to give the guys what they're looking for. He wants to go a little bit longer there on the bottom, keep growing out. So we're going to kind of see if we can fudge our way to that where the wife may not notice it quite as much. Unless she's watching, then she might notice it. But anyway, sometimes I end up comparing these guys to pictures when I go through Google and start looking at beard pictures. A lot of times I find a celebrity. And I found another celebrity that matches what Andy's look is. You guys tell me. So here's Andy. And here's Tom Hardy. You guys see it? I kind of see that. Now, Tom Hardy's had a lot of different beard styles. Most of his is kind of the natural look without clean lines. A lot of times he has an emphasis on the goatee region. So with kind of scruff on the sides or that kind of thing. So maybe you can convince your wife, hey, dear, I've got the Tom Hardy look. Don't you like that look? It might work. Anyway, well, we'll keep moving forward here. So I actually think that a couple places there, you've got better connection on the mustache and the goatee region and that kind of thing. But if you'll take a look, I think you can start to work on that mustache to get it separate a little bit. Once you trim the sides, I still see that big mustache. I really think you can do some more work with getting one of those little Kent 6T mustache combs, combing it to the side, starting to get some wax, especially on the bottom there, to start training it, and then kind of coming out, not necessarily the handlebar look or anything like that, but starting to get a little separation, have it come down straight, kind of to a point, and see how that works for you. I think you definitely have some potential for that, as you see here in this picture. And then the other thing is I definitely think you should go with more of the clean lines. and that's going to keep you and the wife happier, I think. But as you do that, you can actually start experimenting with bringing the line down, your cheek line a little bit. What you have is great, but as the bottom gets longer on it, you can actually bring your cheek line down a little bit. That's going to do two things. It's going to emphasize your mustache more, and it's also going to keep your face in proportion, and it's going to allow you to sneak a little more length on the bottom of that beard, so you'll have more options with styling the bottom of it. So a good point of reference if you're going with a bigger mustache or going with a longer beard is kind of aim for the corner of your mouth. So you can see where the corner of your mouth is there, and this kind of aim down for that. So that would bring it down just a little bit. And then there's some options where you can go down further if you want. We'll talk about experimenting around with that in a little bit. So keep the lines clean. I like the tapered sides like you've got it after the trim. So keep everything nice and tight there. I've done several on tapering and beard trims that I've done myself. The Brio is great for that. Also, you can do use a clipper comb and those kind of things to get a little bit more of a smooth transition. Also, as I looked at that after your trim, I started what popped in my brain is another beard style, and it's called the Bowbow, where you basically have a separate mustache, and then you've got the beard below it, and then you've got clean lines on that one. So, and actually I'm going to bring out another celebrity, Christian Bale, often wears the Bowbow style. So if you take a look, and this picture, he's got the big mustache. It's separate from the beard. His line actually goes way down, so far down that it almost turns into a Hollywoodian. So you don't have to take it down quite that far, but it shows you how you keep the lines clean, and then you can have a little bit longer length on the bottom. And then when you get that longer length on the bottom, you've got more options to style it. So I like what you've got right now. Just let everything kind of fill out back here in this area to kind of catch up with what you've got going on in the front. And then as you're doing that, you're working on the keeping it styled, working with the blow dryer. I see a little bit of a curl out here. So maybe make sure that when you're taking the round brush, you're kind of going in this area and kind of poofing it out, teasing it out a little bit, and then curling it under at the bottom. I'll give you a little bit more of a rounder look towards the bottom of that. And then just experiment with that cheek line. You can bring it down a little further, experiment with that mustache, get some separation, tease it out, comb it out to a point, try some mustache wax, keep the sides clean, keep the hair nice and tight, and then that'll allow you to experiment around with the bottom of it, let it grow out a little bit more. And then also every month or so you can do a little maintenance trim yourself, and that's just, and people go, oh, I don't want to do a maintenance trim, I don't want to trim my beard, I don't want to cut any length off. You can do a maintenance trim without really cutting any length. Okay, that's just take the scissors and just see any of the little flyaways, the ones that are outpacing the other. You're basically just kind of making sure you keep the shape that you've got on that bottom edge. So just kind of trim from the bottom, and I've been doing that every 3 weeks for forever, and I've gone from a clipper beard all the way down to this, which is pretty long at this point. So you can do maintenance trims to keep everything with a little bit more of a polished look. All right, so there we go with Andy. I hope you've enjoyed that. Be looking for another video where we go back with some of these other guys that I've featured over the past 25 episodes and see what they look like today. So if you haven't already, guys that have been featured, make sure you send me some pictures. I'll be sending you some messages and that kind of stuff to remind you. But thank you everybody for joining me, and we'll see you on the next one.